Well, we're definitely ready to get the spring kicked off. We start tomorrow with practice. I know our guys are looking forward to it. It's been a long off season where we want to get back on the field and get to work. I think our guys understand in order to achieve our goals, we got to put in the work, and we understand that. It's about correcting our mistakes, working hard to improve and get better, developing all of our players to be able to have a chance to get on the field and compete and win. And that's what we want to do. So it starts Friday. We feel like we've got a good plan to get things done for the spring. And I know our coaches and our players are excited to get it underway.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. Carm, why don't you start us off?
Thank you, Matt. Hello, Jeff. I guess before we look ahead, since we haven't talked to you since the end of last season, I guess, why did you feel like it was necessary to make the changes on defense, on the defensive staff that you made?
We definitely felt like I felt like we were not going in the direction I wanted to go in, and that we wanted to put a stop to that right away. And, I feel good about, where we're going now. I feel good about all the coaches that we brought in here. I feel that we have a great collection of great people that want to do things the right way, that want to coach extremely hard, develop our players, put together the best package that we all can collaboratively put together as a staff and go out there and compete and win. And I think it's important that, anything that we need to get fixed in order to improve our team, we want to get that done. And I think we've taken the steps necessary to improve our team. I think every year there's going to be turnover. Every year there's going to be change in some form or fashion. That's really what college football is now. I know at Western Kentucky one year we had one time we had basically the whole entire offensive staff turnover, and the next year we came back and finished number one in the country in offense. So really it's about putting together the best collection of people that are good people that want to work hard, that want to compete to win, that want to work together. And I feel like we're definitely have a great staff right here of a collection of guys that for sure want to get that done.
What do you want to see out of your defense now?
Well, I definitely want to see us go out there and compete, challenge plays, play aggressive. I want us to be physical. I want us to get after the quarterback, and I want to make sure that we have a defense that has the identity that I believe in, and I think that's going to be the goal. And I want our players to, when they take the field, to understand that yes, we are going to challenge things. We are going to be aggressive in our approach. We are going to gamble if we have to. Yes, playing sound, fundamental defense is priority number one. But at the same time, I want our guys to, get interceptions, get turnovers, make plays, be aggressive, not be scared to make mistakes, and really develop that mentality and that attitude that, we're going to dictate what happens on that side of the football by our play on the field. Excuse me. So that's going to be the goal. And I feel like, we've worked extremely hard from the last game to now, myself and the coaches we have here, to really analyze what happened last year, analyze the Big Ten conference in general, and who's playing well and what are they doing and why are they doing it and why is it working, and studying the other top teams across the country, or teams that we've picked that have been able to do a lot, maybe with less at certain times, and try to piece that together so that really, as a coach, it's important, in my opinion, that we put our players in the best position to succeed and win. And we allow those guys to play aggressive. We allow those guys to play, with some enthusiasm and energy, and know every time they take the field that we're going to dictate the tempo.
Will you be more involved with the defense this year, maybe than the past couple of years? Without question.
This defense will have my identity. I've been heavily involved ever since the season's been over. I feel like with Coach Brad Lambert, Coach Mark Hagan, Coach Ron English, Anthony Poindexter, Marty Biazzi doing the special teams defense as well. Really, that's a staff of guys that have all had a coordinated title. So I really wanted to get a collection of guys that had a lot of experience, that have coordinated things on their own to a certain degree, but are also great people and understand that some things are going to work, some things aren't. We've got to piece that together. We've got to know, be able to work together and figure things out beforehand, hopefully, but definitely be able to adjust during the season. And I think we have a collection of guys right now that understand that room is going to be a voice of everyone including myself, but everyone's going to have input. Everyone's going to have a voice, and we're all going to work together collectively to put together the best plan we can to go out there and win.
I was going to ask, I mean, the three guys you brought in have a tremendous amount of experience. You've got two former head coaches there. I mean, why was that important for you to kind of get guys of that level?
Well, I definitely believe when you put a staff together, if you can find a way to get that done, you're going to have the best chance to win, and you're going to have the best staff. And even on the offense side of the ball, I want guys that have input. I want guys to speak up. I want guys to question things when we do it and make sure that we talk things through. And I want everyone to have a voice. That's why we have a staff and a collection of individuals that are full-time coaches. And same thing on defense. Brad Lambert has a ton of experience. When I went out and tried to get coaches, I wanted to make sure we were hiring great people first, and then guys that have experience and that have coached a lot of football. Coach Lambert has been a lot of great places. Worked with Coach Donald at Marshall at Georgia, worked with Coach Grove at Wake Forest, has been a head coach, did a tremendous job at Marshall with Coach Holliday and putting that defense together. And really, I couldn't find one negative thing when I did my research on Coach Lambert. So we're lucky to have him to come in here. Mark Hagan has a ton of experience as well. You guys know him well. He's been here. He's been in Indiana. He's been in Texas A&M. He's done a tremendous job to this point since we got him here. He's a football guy. Loves to compete, understands this conference, understand what it takes to win and develop linemen, develop players, and put that piece together as well. So we're excited, and I think he's going to do a tremendous job. Ron English, I've known from the past, and he's coordinated defenses as well in the Big Ten for Michigan. He's been a head coach. He's coached football at a lot of great places, and I know he's going to help Coach Poindexter put together the best secondary we can and the best package we have for that. So I really feel like the three additions give us a collection of guys that have all been there and done that before, have a ton of experience. Our players will respect, but are also great people and want to work together to get this thing done.
When you say you want to put your guys in the right position to succeed, does that come with any position changes on the defensive side going into spring?
Well, I wouldn't say there's really many position changes right now. I know we're piecing things together. We're going to have some guys out of the spring from injury and off-season surgery. So right now it's about all the guys available. We're developing a plan to get out there and work and improve and get better, give them experience so they can go out there and feel confident when they take the field. So we'll have, definitely some pieces that we feel good going into the season. We'll have some young guys that need to improve and get better. But as far as true position changes, I don't see a whole lot of that going on. We're not going to be afraid to move guys around and try them at different little spots, but I don't see any true wholesale position change.
Like a guy like Jalen Graham, does he stay at linebacker?
Well, you can call Jalen what you want. I mean, Jalen is a guy that can play safety for us. He can play that nickel position. He can play that hybrid outside linebacker, drop safety. So he can do a lot of things for us, and we're going to make sure, I think he really is a valuable asset to our team. He's a good athlete. He's strong. He continues to make plays and get better. I think you're definitely going to see him on the field and in a lot of different ways. But definitely where we had him last year, and that nickel spot is where he's going to play, but also at the safety position as well.
I just wanted to ask, Aiden O'Connell, is he good to go for spring?
Aiden will be limited and will not be full speed in spring practice.
Okay.
But he's definitely ahead of schedule. We feel great about his recovery.
All right. So Jack Plummer will kind of start out maybe take the first.
Yeah, so we're going to get a good long look at Jack Plummer, Austin Burton, Michael Alamo. Those are definitely three guys that are going to get a lot of reps, get an opportunity to go out there and compete. Obviously, we'll get Aiden what he's able to do based on the doctor and the trainer allows us to do with him. But those other three guys will get a lot of great work, and we're looking forward to working with them this spring.
You got three transfers that are going to participate in spring ball, and just what makes these guys good fits for your program, and what kind of role do you foresee, Anderson and Brothers and Witt playing for you?
Well, we're excited about the additions, and I think every year you got to assess your team where you're at, and definitely in today's recruiting age, it's important that we continue to do that. It's important that we continue to provide some room and space to be able to do that. even from the first year when we got here, we had a lot of success with a heavy class of transfers or grad transfers. So, Tyler Witt has a ton of experience. We're familiar with him. He's played a lot of football. He started for 4 years. He's already one of the strongest guys in the weight room. We're excited to get him out there. Joe Anderson, we think has a bright future. He's, we've got him into the program. We'll put him at the defensive end position and let him do his thing. We got to continue to get him stronger and get him up to speed. But I like what we've seen to this point. O.C. Brothers is another linebacker that wasn't getting the opportunity at Auburn, maybe that he wanted. He wanted to come here and get some more playing time, so to speak. You know what? He's worked extremely hard to this point, and we just got to get him up to speed. But we're definitely going to see those three guys in spring, and I think they'll be valuable additions. And we're going to continue to always monitor that market, and it's going to be something that probably every team is going to make sure that they are definitely doing their part to improve their football team.
One more from me before I pass on. Just the left tackle spot. Who will be some of the candidates there, or have you decided someone is going to get that job?
Well, I think Greg Long, we were excited to bring back, 4 seniors. Greg Long coming back, really thought he did a very good job for us. Came in and competed. He's become a hard worker. He's gotten his body in better shape. Really didn't get him here till I think around July of last year. So we didn't have a whole lot of time with him. But he has a great attitude. He's become a leader. He's probably going to start the first day at that left tackle position. Eric Miller's another guy that has gained experience. We want to continue to get him stronger and get him to improve, as we go throughout spring. But he has some experience. We feel good about his progress, but we got to continue to push that along. So those are the two guys right now. Will Bramwell will be out of spring, due to his back. But we feel like we have quite a few guys on the offensive line now that have played. We just got to continue to develop those guys and make sure we get a nucleus of a starting 5 and then some backups behind them that we can rotate in there and keep those guys fresh.
Now, before I pass on, just with Eric Miller, are you looking at working him at left, or is he going to be kind of your right tackle right now? And if not, who would slide into the right tackle spot?
Well, we're going to interchange those guys. I mean, we want to get the 5 best guys on the field. Greg Long will be able to play right and left. Eric Miller right and left. So we'll interchange those guys. Right now, there are 2 top tackles.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Tom Dienhart.
You got me, Jeff?
Yes, I do now. Yes.
Hey, you said Will Bramwell's going to be out. Are there any other key players going to miss this spring that won't be active?
Yeah, we'll have quite a few. I know Nayland Fox, had surgery, so he'll be out this spring. Cam Craig is still recovering. So we'll make sure he fully recovers before we get him out there. Marvin Grant, had a shoulder surgery. Cam Allen had a shoulder surgery. Aiden O'Connell, we're just getting back. Abdur Yassim had the knee surgery this past year. Garrett Miller had some off-season surgery, so he'll be out this spring. Those are probably the main ones. There might be 1 or 2 or 3 that I missed, but those are the main ones that I can think of right now that could be out most of the spring, if not all the spring.
Hey, what's going to be the base scheme on defense?
Well, without getting into specifics, I think you're going to see, an aggressive attacking defense. We're going to put our guys in position to succeed and win. It's important that we challenge the quarterback. It's important that we hit the quarterback. It's important that we challenge routes. It's important that we don't give up too much cushion. It's important that, we mix things up and are able to disguise a little bit. So without getting into the full scheme, I think that, we feel good about moving forward, and we feel good about myself and all of our defensive coaches on the same page.
So you can't say 4-3, 3-4, 3-3-5?
No, not really.
Okay. Hey, you got 5 freshmen who've enrolled early. What can we expect from those guys? I know a lot of people are excited about Yanni Karlopoulos in particular, Jeff, but talk about those youngsters there.
Well, Yanni is going to be out most of the spring right now with a hamstring that he had when he got here and suffered in high school. And it actually ended up being worse than he thought. And we're in the process of getting him healed up as fast as we can. So, we're not going to see him early on. We'll see when we can get him back. Let me see specifically which ones.
I know the wide receivers, Burks, Preston Terrell. You got the big offensive tackle from Mooresville.
Gotcha.
You got the linebacker from Kentucky, Tristan Cox, too.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll start with Tristan Cox. You know what? He's really done a great job to this point. He's strong in the weight room. He loves to work. He loves football. We look forward to getting him out there, and I think he'll start off at the linebacker position for us. And he does have the flexibility to move him a little bit, so we won't be scared to put his hand down at defensive end if we have to. But he's got that versatility to do both, so we're looking forward to watching him. Jalen Allstead has really come in, and while he needs to gain some strength, boy, he's done a great job to this point. He's got athleticism. We just got to continue to build his body and get him up to speed on what we're doing. But we like the athleticism that he's shown to this point. I think he's got a pretty good high ceiling that we think we can develop him and get him out there. Time will tell how fast that'll be, but he's really done a great job. Deion Burks really is, we feel like has a chance to be a really good slot receiver. He's athletic. He's got some quick twitch. He's got some quickness to him. He's done a good job to this point, so we're excited to see what he does. And Preston is a guy who gives us a little size on the outside. We got to just continue to develop all of his assets as much as we can, gaining strength and gaining speed and understanding the system, but, can catch the football and has played a lot of good football at a good high school program. So we're excited about, all those guys. And I think we'll get a good look at him this spring. Other than Yanni will be out for a little bit.
You can't replace Rondale Moore, Jeff, but who are some of the candidates for that slot spot?
Well, we feel good about our receiving core, and we want to continue to develop those guys and make sure we spread the ball around. Of course, David and Milton have the most experience for us and have done a very good job. Jackson Anthrop was injured last year early on, but came back faster than most. You're going to see him on the field, and I think that it'll be important that we move him around a little bit and make sure that we utilize them in a lot of different ways. So, you could see him slide in the backfield some and at the receiver position. TJ Sheffield, was injured a while back, but we got him back healthy, and I think he continues to improve and shows us that he's got a chance to be a really good receiver. Malik Carr is someone who's just got, really great size and uncanny athleticism for his size. We got to make sure we just get him the ball in the right places, and whether that's in the inside or on the outside, especially in the red zone area for some plays where he can use his size to advantage. We got to make sure we're doing those things with him so that he gets his touches as well. He actually were ready to kind of get him going last year, and as soon as we put in, he kind of got a little knee injury that knocked him out for a little while. And, we'd like to see, quite a few of those guys emerge. Rashawn Rice has been injured here and there. We'd like to see him emerge. Obviously, Abdur showed some good signs before he injured his knee, but we got to just get him healthy. So really it's just about developing all those guys and seeing who's going to be the, in the mix to play the most. But we feel good and it's important that we find ways to give them the ball. And whether that's routes up the field, whether that's deep shots, whether it's short throws or throws around the line of scrimmage, it's important that we utilize them as much as we can, because we do feel like we have some good playmakers at that position.
They sort of sort out for me what's going to happen at kicker and punter, Jeff. Both those spots seem like there's a lot going on there.
Well, I think that it's important that we improve our special teams, and we worked extremely hard from the end of the season to do that. A lot of film study, a lot of studying ourselves, a lot of studying the best teams in the Big Ten, and making sure that we put the best plan and package together. The punting game was not up to par last year, so we need to make sure that we address that, and we've got a plan going forward for that. Some of that I can't speak about right now, but we feel like we have a good plan. It's just a matter of making sure we work it as much as we can this spring and then in the summer when everyone gets here and beyond that. But that has to improve our punting game. When it comes to kickoffs and extra points, that's a position that we've got to replace. And I think, we have JD's brother, who we think has a lot of promise, that showed a lot of good signs last year. That'll be in the mix. We have one or two other guys that are in the mix as well. And that's always a position that you got to make sure to shore up, because kicking that ball off where you want it and being accurate on extra points and field goals are very important. So that is something that we've got to continue to do. And then, of course, trying to gain yards in the return game is important. We did make some progress in the kickoff return game a little bit. TJ Sheffield did a pretty good job. We'd like to, get a little more yardage out of our punt return game and make sure that we're fielding balls, we're not letting balls roll, and we're finding ways to get some yards there. And then, of course, giving up, big plays on kickoff cover can't happen. And really the negative plays that we've had last year hurt us. We've got to make sure we eliminate those, and we solve all the problems that came up and make sure that doesn't happen again. But we feel like we got a good plan going forward, and we feel that we've made some decisions in certain directions to go in the kicking game that I think when it's all said and done, come summertime, we feel like we can get in a good direction with that with the special teams.
The last question from me, Jeff. Are you satisfied with your running back group there?
Well, running back is a position that, first off, we've got to get better running the football. We've got to make sure that, we do a good job on first and second down of getting positive yards. We do a good job of developing play action off of it. We do a good job mixing in some runs on third down, so we have to. I think Xander Horvath definitely did a great job for us last year. He's strong. He's physical. He can catch the ball in the backfield. Is he going to break that run and go the distance on some? He may not have that element to his game, but he does a great job for us, and we're excited to have him back. I think King is someone who's been hurt on and off, and that's hurt him a little bit, and it's hurt us to not have his presence out there. So we got to get him healthy, get him back to going full speed. He showed some signs 2 years ago. This past year, the injury kind of set him back in the shortened season, so we weren't able to really get a good look at him. Then we've got to continue to improve Dejuan Hewitt, and that's somebody that I think has shown that he is hungry at this point. I think he understands that it's time for him to step up and elevate his game and give us that third option at the running back. And then, of course, we have a newcomer coming in that's not here yet that we think has a little bit of that shake, a little bit of that wiggle that, right now we don't have that element. So that's something we always got to try to improve and work on. But at the same time, I think we're going to work hard at getting better at the running game and being more consistent with that. And we feel good about our plan right now.
Thank you, Jeff.
Brian, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a couple quick ones from me, Jeff. First off, with the non-graduate transfers, are you recruiting nowadays with the assumption all these guys are going to be immediately eligible, or are these still waiver situations you have to wait on?
Well, I don't think they've officially approved that rule.
Right.
I think all coaches feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we'll deal with that when it comes up. But without question, we're going to proceed and hope that all transfers will be eligible right away when it's all said and done. But yes, time will fully tell on that. And I think everywhere else is probably assuming the same thing as well.
Right. Ever since you got Rondell, he's kind of been the guy where you've been able to game plan, sort of for him as a guy you can really use a lot of different ways, get the ball to him a lot of different ways. Can you use David that way? You feel like?
Well, we definitely feel like David has done a great job for us. He makes big plays. He makes contested catches. Really loves the game of football. He's a great teammate, and we want to help him continue to improve his game. And I think it's important that as we look back on these last few years, that all of our guys understand that they've got to continue to work. They've got to continue to put in the work. They've got to continue to put themselves out there. We've got to push them to be the best they can. But David definitely has that ability. And I think this year, without going into too much detail, it's important that we probably move him around a little bit and we make sure that the defense doesn't know exactly where he's at, because he is that valuable. Where before we had some other guys like a Rondell that we didn't have to do it as much. So it'll be important that we have a good plan put together that, are able to move around him and maybe even some of our other top playmakers so that they're getting the ball in different positions. And we're trying to have some creativity with that.
Right. When you went back and kind of reviewed the way last season ended, did it kind of illuminate anything for you in terms of here's what has to happen now for us to get this going, in the direction we expect it to?
Well, I think without question, we were disappointed in the outcome of the season. As we went back and looked at it, there are obviously a lot of things we can improve upon, which we talked about quite a few of those. And I think we feel good that we understand what they are. It's a matter of going out and putting in the work and making sure we do that. With that being said, we're in every ball game to the very end. And a lot of them are one-score touchdown games that we've got to find ways to do those small things. And when I say those small things, it starts from me, all of our coaches, to making sure we're putting our players in the best position to succeed. It starts with our players to dig deeper and understand that if you really want to win, it's got to mean something to you. When you lose, it's got to bother you. It's got to really bother you and eat you up on the inside. So all of our guys need to, between now and game one, we need to do the necessary things to make sure that happens. And we got to understand the difference in winning and losing is this much. So I think there's a large combination of things that if we really work our tail off to get done at every level, from the head coach on down, between now and game one, we're not that far off. And it's important that we win the close games. And, in this conference, you're going to have a lot of close games. So you got to find ways to hang in there, find ways to do the small things better, find ways to, understand and have that confidence that when you get to that point, you're going to get it done. And I think that, I was proud with the way we worked at the beginning of last year. We started off 2-0, and then we just kind of went a little bit south from there due to a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So our guys did work hard, and we were prepared for game one and game two. But now it's about, we've got to learn to finish. We've got to learn to do all the small details right. It's important that we understand what those details are, and then we work our tail off to get it done.
Just the last thing for me, can you just reflect on what the challenges were coaching or operating a football program during a pandemic? Hopefully you never have to do it again, but just what was the, what were the real challenges there? What was it like? What did you learn, about football, about coaching, about life, whatever it may be?
I think a lot of teams had to deal with a lot of these same challenges. So it wasn't where one team was worse off than the other, but without question, not knowing who your roster is going to be, guys being knocked out for a lot of reasons and not being able to practice, adding to your injury list would probably hurt some teams worse than others. And that made it, difficult as well. So a lot of little things that just really have never come up before. You're normally trying to keep your team healthy while you're improving and trying to win. Now you had to deal with some COVID issues that would sometimes knock people out for a while, sometimes would deliver a false positive where they're just knocked out for a day or two, but they miss a day or two of practice. So just a lot of little things that could come up that happened everywhere that, you had to hope you had a little luck on your side. You had to find a way to develop some depth. So when it happened, you didn't miss a beat, so to speak. So that's why it's important that, as coaches, as a team, we develop depth and we continue to work that as hard as we can. And we continue to, definitely, get our playmakers on the field and allow them to make plays, but make sure that we're developing depth behind them for a lot of reasons. COVID reasons, which you didn't think would ever come up before last year, injuries that are always going to come up every year, keeping guys fresh throughout the game as well. So all those things factored into it. And, I think we're, probably moving in the right direction. Hopefully, by the fall season, we can get somewhere close back to having a normal season.
I'm good. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else? JD, Alan, Mike?
I'm all good, thanks.
Everybody else good?
I have a couple follow-ups, if I may.
Okay.
I didn't want to jump in line ahead of somebody else. But Jeff, when you talk defensively, and how important is it for whatever defense you run, whatever scheme it is, that George Karlaftis and maybe DeMarcus Mitchell are some sort of centerpiece of what you're trying to do, and how do those two fit into what you want to do defensively?
they are very important. So without question, George needs to be the feature of our defense. DeMarcus Smith built up great time last year. The ability to grease his way through blocks, get in the backfield. Those are two strong points of our football team that we've got to utilize that we can. And I want to make sure that we can put him in to do that. I think that everything goes into that. Coaching, how you practice, how you plan. But yes, without question, those two guys need to make for us and put them in the best position to make plays. And to this point, we got to make sure we can guys.
A player that was injured in the Nebraska game, I think Antonio Stevens, I think a knee injury. Is he available for the spring, or is he still out?
No, Antonio, had a pretty good knee injury. He's gone through 2 surgeries, which he had to do, so they've gone right on par. He's ahead of schedule, but it's still going to be a ways. We're hopeful with him to get him back for the fall, and that's going to be our goal. But he's done a great job at this point. He showed great signs for the we really thought he was coming around fast and had a chance to get in the mix and make play for it. Obviously, it's his experience, but really is a great young man with a bright future. I'm excited to get him back. Also, I did leave out Jalen Alexander at off-season surgeries. He'll be out this spring, but be back for summer.
All right. And just how's Coco? Have you been able to spend quality time with your dog?
You know what? Coco's fine. I try not to cruise the house with her, but I normally am the one that ends up taking care of the most.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, guys. I will be putting together the interview schedule here moving forward, so I'll get that to you here shortly. Thanks a lot, guys.